Oh, hello, Shelley.
Oh, no, we
We'll
don't
be
like
friends with you, Shelley.
we don't like Dr. Baber much around in this pond.
Brunch. Brunch.
Last episode, we both said that we were good at reading.
Did we say that we were good at reading?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, yeah, we did. We kinda
I
bragged about
sarcastically said I stink at reading, and you were like, I don't. And I was like, yeah, neither do I. I'm fucking awesome at reading. So, here's a read, bitch. Week 1 is in the books, but it's not too late to get closer to the game you love with DraftKings 1 Week Fantasy Football. This Sunday, DraftKings is hosting a $100,000 Pick'em contest that is totally free to enter. Pick'em is the newest way to play 1 Week Fantasy Football. Drafting your team is faster than ever. DraftKings has organized players into 8 tiers. All you have to do is select one player from each tier, choose between public contests and with big cash prizes or private contests where you can compete against a group of your friends. DraftKings also has beginner and casual contests where you'll play against people of similar skill level. The best part is you get to draft a new team each week without any commitment. So get to DraftKings.com now and use the promo code BRUNCH. Use that damn promo code Zaddy to play in DraftKings free contest with $100,000 in total prizes this Sunday. That's promo code BRUNCH to compete for your share of $100,000 total prizes. The contest is totally free to enter. Why wouldn't you try? DraftKings, the game inside the game. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Wow.
That was a fucking unbelievable read. Unbelievable. Also, a little bit of podcast news. We are now a part of the CLNS radio network.
Yes, we sold out.
We did.
We took a deal.
We took a deal.
We
signed a contract.
Yeah, we're on a label now.
That's right. We're no longer an independent artist. We're not an indie band like Jack from Bleachers.
No, Jack. Is there a guy in Bleachers named? I've heard of Bleachers.
Yeah, his name is Jack.
There's a guy named Jack in there.
Yeah.
Did you fucking see how he tweeted out his Tiny Desk concert?
I did not.
Or he was like performing. So Bleachers did a Tiny Desk concert, and he tweeted something like performing this set with Bleachers was like my favorite performance of my life. So some asshole, me, quote tweeted with like, wait, you're in a band named Bleachers? And I like that we've reached up, like, the Bruntouchables are fucking good. It was well received.
Nice.
Like people, if you don't,
people get our inside jokes.
If you're not right, like that's an inside joke. If you're not in on that and you see that, you're like,
this guy's a fucking idiot.
Right?
Like,
don't you know that guy's in?
He claims to be a music person,
and he doesn't know who
realize.
Jack Antonoff is. Yeah.
So we're a part of the CLNS network, CLNS radio network now. You can find us on the CLNS app. We're excited about it.
Let's talk about how that changes shit, if at all. Because
it doesn't.
It really doesn't. And all this does is it gives... We've always run this by ourselves. We've always posted the shit ourselves, edited the shit ourselves. That I think that obviously won't change. We're not hiring people. Obviously, we got Kathy and Dan and Ryan who do awesome shit for us. But as far as not necessarily monetizing it, but growing it and shit like that, that's something that we always knew we're going to need other people to do that for us.
We kind of exhaust ourselves on the content side.
Yeah.
Neither of us pretends to be savvy businessmen.
We leave it all fucking out on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah,
we
you
leave
can't
it
be
out
a
on the
savvy
field, baby.
businessman if you're not a man.
You're right. So they're going to be handling... the only way that this kind of changes things is that you might be hearing a little bit more ad reads.
Yeah.
They're going to be helping us with to sell ads. They're going to be helping us to grow the podcast,
yes.
Which very excited about the prospect of that. But as far as anything else goes, nothing's really changing.
Well, part of it, and this wasn't them blowing smoke, but they were just saying relatively soon you're gonna grow. You're gonna get this many more followers. You're gonna grow. This will grow, and you'll get a lot of new listeners relatively quickly. And I was like, huh. I love that. There's nothing I fucking love more than the fact that people listen to this shit and that people participate in it and do all that stuff. But I just imagine this shit that's been going on for 2 years now, and all the people, the mess of a fucking world that we've created, and now other people, say 5,000 people just showing up to that, being like, what the fuck
is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, It's a good network, and also it's local, which is a really cool thing.
Right. It
We're
was
sticking to our roots here in Boston, but it's not just. They have like a lot of good shows, and not all of them are Boston related.
Right.
They have a lot of good
And they're
basketball
growing,
podcasts.
yeah.
And so download the app. It's called the CLNS Radio. I think it's just called CLNS Radio app. So if you go to the Google iTunes store or whatever, the Google store, CLNS Radio, you'll be able to download it, and we'll be there.
As part of this change, you and I both had to do some work. We divvied it up. I was off this week, and I've never felt more burnt out while being off in my life.
Really?
You know, like I was saying this to my dental hygienist today. I'm a very chatty dental patient, by the way.
It's the worst.
I know. But I always have, like, dental hygienists are always nice. That'd be a weird profession to be in if you're, like, sassy or rude or whatever. So, like, we don't get anything done in there because it's just
you
gabbing.
Talking while they're trying to work inside
while they're
of
trying
your
to
mouth.
put things in my mouth.
Yes.
Well, so normally it's the other way around. I mean, the famous Bill Cosby bit where dentists talk to you
And
while
you
they're
can't,
doing shit, and it's like, motherfucker, how do you not know that you've got your fucking body is in my mouth right now? I can't talk. So anyway, it's from being off, I feel more burned out from everything than I feel when I actually have a lot of shit to do and I'm always busy. So anyway, my one fucking thing I had to do was write a review for Brunch, write a bio.
Not a review, a bio.
Right, but this is what I assume the pressure must feel like for Bruntouchables when they write their review, because that's a fucking rite of passage, writing your Brunch review.
It really is.
Yeah.
So if you haven't done it, do
Yeah.
it. Go to iTunes and give us a
Also,
5-star review.
I've yet to see, every time I walk by an Apple store, which I do a lot, I'm a mall walker, every time I walk by an Apple store, I'm astonished that no one has ever sent us a video of them going through an Apple store and subscribing and rating up and down the line.
No, I'm
That's
a
like a
little
common
disappointed.
podcast fan practice.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that nobody's done that for us yet.
That was, yeah. So I was at Father John Misty last night. We had great seats, and someone near us was like, gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed that there's not a joint going around right now. And I just thought it was like a funny thing. And I was like, do you mean like because like these seats are so good that like something should be being passed around? And he was like, yeah, it's like a fucking shitty section, whatever. But like someone should just be fucking doing this. So anyway, so this is the review that I wrote.
Oh, I was going to say, do you want to read this?
Yes. Listening to Brunch is... So this isn't the one... So I sent you one. I was like, all right, finally. Here's what I wrote. And then I changed it. Listening to Brunch is like overhearing two boy band members having a neurotic pop culture discussion at the table next to you. With new episodes every Monday and Friday, Pete Blackburn and DJ Bean, affectionately dubbed the bad boys of podcasting, begin your week by recapping why everyone's pissed and ending it with the best playlist you've ever heard. Episodes frequently, this isn't as good a read as before, revolve around music reviews, album discussions, and Zac Efron heat checks. Celebrity guests have included the cast of Friday Night Lights, stars from The Office, Stranger Things, Master of None, Parks and Rec, and Silicon Valley, and Miles Teller one time.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good...
was
How many
a-
sentences is that?
It was supposed to be 5 to 7, so
Yeah.
let's see.
That's like 4 sentences, I think. 3 or
1. Well, these are some long sentences. Like, if I was
Right.
doing this for my work, I would fucking freak out. You know, I don't like when people overwrite. I don't know if you've ever heard that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4. Wow, okay.
5.
Hit the bare minimum.
So I did
Good
it
for
right.
you.
Did it right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Good job. It only took you 36 hours to do that, but I'm proud of you.
It did take me a long time. Yeah, you tweeted. You're like, this is taking him all day. And literally, it was like, as soon as you said to do it, I was like, cool. And I started doing it on my phone, and I was like, this is fucking difficult. And then
It's very hard to explain brunch.
I did a cool
anybody's noticed.
move that I like to do. This is a little sneaky move. I recommend it to everybody out there.
Just don't do something.
Give up.
Yes.
I quit the task. And it was awesome. I just started doing other things instead.
That is sage advice to
Yeah.
all our. That's inspiring advice.
Sneaky
Just,
little
just give
go-to
up.
to have in your back pocket. Like,
You don't want to do something? Give up.
give up. Yes. So that was fun.
Here are 2 people that didn't give up who gave us 5-star reviews
Ooh,
on iTunes.
lovely.
Shelley from London. Hello, Shelley.
Hello, Shelley.
The best podcast that I've ever listened to.
Aw.
With an asterisk. And then quickly followed by, not really. But she says, even though they seem to like Justin Bieber more than any adult male really should, I still low-key want to be friends with them. Oh, hello, Shelley.
We
We'll be friends with you, Shelley.
We don't like Justin Bieber much around in this pond.
Your English accent sounds like you have marbles in your mouth.
Well, I'm doing a Dave Grohl right now. So Dave Grohl sings with gum in his mouth.
Yeah.
I'm doing for the first time, I think, podcasting with the gum with a gum. I took a
two
gum.
Gums. I have 2 gums in my mouth.
Yes, I took a gum, and so I was part doing that, but then I was like, I'm gonna be a toasty podcast.
And then Scarlet Jake.
And a little Simple Jack.
Oh, God. Scarlet Jake says bomb 5 stars, and then the review is just lit. Lit.
Did I tell you that I do that? I do. No, it's a reference that it's not good. It's not accurate enough, and I feel like not enough people will get it. But I always say lit like the kid in the Boot Gang convenience store video.
Nobody's getting that.
So the kid walks through, or the kid starts. What is he doing? He's eating blunts.
Eating blunts.
And then the other kid says, I am on cocaine right now, and jumps up on the counter. And there's another kid that just goes, lit, and he jumps into something and just like knocks over a bunch of shit. I say lit like that kid.
I saw somebody tweet this week, what the fuck is Boot Gang? And I thought about responding to it, but I was like, you know what? If you don't know, you don't deserve to know. So I'm not gonna bless you with that knowledge.
Oh fuck, you know what? This is gonna be just like a very like blasé, we're just gonna like glaze over things, come back, because that's kind of the feel that we have. We're getting ready for a trip where we got a lot of moving parts. So you've accepted a job, and you tweeted that I'm no longer unemployed. I'm going to work for CBS Sports, all this stuff. Would have been fucking awesome if like an hour later you responded to the tweet, all caps, Boot Gang, whole lot of gang shit.
You know, it would be a real savage movie.
If you were in like a video, like you in a bathing suit, just like fucking like pouring champagne all over yourself, like nope, vacation or like unemployed Pete still alive,
still lives on.
Boot Gang.
That would be good. And also, if I did the move where I was weighing 2 options, which I was, if I just said Boot Gang and like didn't tell CBS that I was just kidding.
Yeah.
And I just did Boot Gang, and then I accepted an offer from a different place.
Ooh, that would be that's a good way to just kind of keep people on their toes.
Yes, absolutely. And great way to burn a bridge.
Yes.
Forever. So I'm going to be working on CBS Sports. If anybody missed that announcement, I'm going to be writing for their website, doing some fun stuff. Basically, like almost the same thing that I was doing at Fox.
That's awesome.
Before they pivoted to video and also failure.
Pivoted away from people.
Pivot away from anybody's interest. Brunch programming notice. Mm-hmm. We are approaching season 3.
Oh, yes, we are.
And so if you're somewhat new to the podcast, have joined within the past year, we do quote-unquote seasons for this podcast, which means that once we hit a new season, we usually roll out some new, different kinds of things.
Change the art. Now that we have merch going on, it'll mean that there will be new merch. There's going to be a lot, but this is by far the biggest like overhaul that we've done.
So not only have we joined CLNS Radio, not only have we gotten some money from DraftKings and partnered with them, we have a lot of things in store for September 25th.
September, is that the date?
That is the date of the season 3 launch.
We're definitely so
now that I've said it, it's probably not going to be September 25th.
I just looked and I saw the 14. I was like, ooh, we're looking at like November 28th. But we seriously, like, we've set a date. We're going to have dope shit coming, and it's exciting.
All I will say is that the vault is coming back into play big time.
Oh, the vault's going to be dangerous.
Yes, like the vault will be quite full. We might need to upgrade our storage in the vault.
The vault has been in the gym.
Oh, yeah. The vault has been throwing around weights.
Which is the opposite of what I do, because I put the gym in the vault.
And you throw away the weights.
Yes.
No thanks.
You know what happened at the dentist today that was was very like nerve-wracking. The worst part of the dentist is when they, not like any physical thing that they do to you. You know when they have you stick out your tongue, and they're like, all right, and they put like the thing in there, and they're like, all right, now real quick, move it to the left, all right, to the right, like up, down, stuff like that.
The little vacuum thing?
No, not even that. No, like just those commands is the most nerve-wracking thing in the world, because there's nothing more stressful than somebody asking you on the spot to do something that you know how to do. If they ask you to do something you don't know how to do, you can be like, I don't fucking know how to do that. But like when it's like, all right, to the left, right, blah, blah, like every time I'm so fucking afraid that I'm gonna like go to the right, and they're gonna be like, this fucking idiot.
That's just like, that's got to be a you thing.
You couldn't.
Nobody else freaks out
that whole
about
time.
that.
You couldn't identify with that.
No,
huh?
definitely not. No.
It's like my heart races.
There are a lot of scary things about the dentist,
Especially because that's when the
telling you
dentist
right or
comes
left
in.
is not one of
That's
them.
when the dentist comes in. So you have the hygienist. They do everything. They're really nice. They warm you up, and then they bring in the big dog, and he's like, "All right, left, right, motherfucker." It's a little scary.
Speaking of which, is there like a bigger scam going than dentists versus dental hygienists? Because you go to the dentist for like a checkup or something.
Yeah.
98% of the
Dental
work is
hygienist does
done
all
by
the work.
done by
Yeah.
the dental hygienist.
They do the
dentist just
X-rays,
walks
they do
in
the-
with does like the big dick walk into the
Yeah.
fucking thing. And is like, yeah, okay, this all looks good.
They hook
I
you
guess
up
my
with
dental
the-
hygienist is good at her job or
Yeah.
his job, and
Right.
they just leave.
Yeah, they don't even give you the cool shit. That's a dental hygienist too.
Yep.
They give you everything.
They just pop in. That's what a dentist does.
Yeah.
Unless you got some real fucked up situation going on, they do like the surgeries and shit like that. But
Yeah.
98% of the work done by dental
I
hygienists.
also don't
so-
like when they say, "Hey, so how are your teeth?" It's like, man,
like, how the fuck do
we're
I
about
know?
to find
I
out
know.
one way or another. You tell me.
This is your
honestly.
fucking job. One more programming notice: our blog is still up on the website.
Yeah, and Patrick went long.
He didn't go long.
I know.
He went
I'm
schmedium.
kidding. He posted.
Yeah,
which
he
is
went
way-
schmedium.
Yeah.
He did a nice little breakdown of the Disaster Artist trailer, which came out this week.
I
That
still
movie.
didn't watch that, and I'm as excited for that as anybody. And I just didn't watch it.
Have you seen The Room?
No.
I have not seen The Room, but I did watch highlights of The Room. I basically watched like film on The Room,
Okay.
on YouTube, and that's all. That's the only interest that I have in watching any of that movie. But I'm definitely going to see The Disaster Artist.
Why don't we watch The Room on the plane to Chicago?
Man,
I was gonna get a splitter to make you watch that thing you do.
oh yeah,
Maybe I'll still do that.
okay,
I don't know.
we'll figure it out. But I mean, on that notice, also on the blog is a NHL 18 review,
Ooh.
which half of us played because they sent to me a copy.
Nice.
And you don't really play video games.
They would have to
outside of
send me a
work.
video game machine.
Well, I mean, you could play it at work.
Yeah, but I
don't.
haven't been going into work these days.
Too. You may not have a job, but you definitely don't have a video game machine.
Yes, for sure. You're getting NBA 2K18
Yes,
on Friday.
but I won't be here.
Yeah, so we're going to Chicago and we're leaving tomorrow. A new Foo Fighters album comes out. That normally would take up my weekend. B, 2K comes out tomorrow. We recently decided we're huge basketball fans, so that would take up our weekend. I legitimately think that you should bring your toy to
My toy.
to
My system.
Chicago. Yeah.
That would be a.
What do they look like these days? Are they still like?
It's pretty. The
Yeah.
PS4 is like kind of bulky.
Oh, okay.
Like I could make it happen if we really, really wanted to.
Yeah.
But also, we're not going to be. I would imagine that we're not going to be hanging around, lounging around while we're in Chicago too much.
Right.
We're going there. We're going to Riot Fest.
Yes.
We're going to see Heim.
Yes.
We're going to eat a shitload of Portillo's.
We're gonna be on those fucking hort dogs, on those sweet Italian beefs, sweet Italian buff. Know what I'm saying?
I'm fucking so excited for Portillo's. Probably more
Probably
than the
getting some
music.
fucking cake as well. Just
yeah.
yeah. I love
That's me
Yeah.
making soup in my pants. Yeah, so we're going to Chicago. Very excited about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Heim, you got followed by 1/3 of Heim this weekend on
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah.
Not this weekend, this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that?
just mesmerizing. It's. I'll tell you, it shook me.
You were very, very excited about it.
I remained shook. Yeah, I was like very drunk when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I texted you at like 2:30, and I was like, "Wait, get up!" I was like, "Motherfucker, this is not a drill."
But I've sensed it in the days since. But when somebody that you really, really like and really, really respect follows you on Twitter,
you stop
there's a
tweeting
panic.
'cause you're so
There's a
afraid.
fucking
Yep.
panic of being like, especially in the early going,
right?
Because that's their
This is
first
the
impression
honeymoons.
of you.
Yeah. This is the
So
honeymoon stage.
you really have to make your tweets worth it.
Yeah.
Because like there's a small window after following somebody where they can just unfollow you, and it's kind of like there's no commitment there.
Right.
Once you stick around for a couple weeks, you're
Right.
kind of in.
Right.
You're locked in. But there's a period where it's like unfollowing is still on the table.
Yes. So, and she doesn't follow a lot of people. It's not like one of those. It's not like a fucking.
It's like, oh, this is cool that she follows me, but she also follows 10,000 other people.
Right. Exactly. So.
How many people does she follow?
Like
It's Esty, by the way.
Yeah,
We
like
didn't clarify
600 or something. But she's
So
I
you're
think-
showing up in that timeline. if
yeah,
you use this Twitter.
right. So like she's gonna see my fucking meltdowns about God knows what. She's I think she follows like one of my friends on Instagram or whatever. Like she seems like she's like not. She doesn't like hold
She
herself
taps
to a higher
into the fan
yeah,
base.
like she doesn't hold herself to a higher standard than the fan base. And from watching interviews with them and everything, we know that they're like the three coolest people who've
Yeah.
ever been born. So yeah, it's awesome. But I was telling you, like I'm afraid of how to tweet now. I was listening to the album today, and I was listening to Kept Me Crying, and I love that fucking guitar solo, so I was going to screen grab it and tweet, I could kiss this guitar solo on the mouth. But that would be like, she's probably going to take the exit.
Yeah.
She's like, whoops, I
guy's
followed
coming on too strong.
a crazy person, right. So, I'll say this, we were in talks to have a sit-down with Haim this weekend, to do some video, to do an interview with them, and their PR people, their publicist, very, very nice, has been good at getting back to us and everything.
He's been getting back to us
said-
for like 6 months.
Right. Eventually said it just couldn't happen. Initially, way back when we first started the podcast, we haven't done a big episode solely about boy bands yet, and at some point we will. But that was one of the topics that we wanted to do, and we were like, we need to get a Haim sister as the third person, because when the podcast started, an idea that we really wanted to do was get celebrities on to talk about shit that isn't related to them. You know, like, don't get Alana on to talk about Days Are Gone. Get her to talk about listening to boy bands growing up.
Yeah.
So so we were trying to do that, and they're obviously very, very busy people, so we haven't been able to make that work. So when she followed me, I was like, that was the same day their publicist was like, nah, unfortunately they just can't do it. I was like, I could just fucking blow this.
You could backdoor this right now.
and like slide in and be like, hey, what are you guys doing Friday during the day? That could go one of two ways.
Yes. That could go drastically.
I would
one of
not
two
be
ways.
able to sign into my account the next time I tried. So,
what are the chances of you being overserved this weekend and then sliding into the DMs?
My days of at my peak being fucked up, texting the person I'm not supposed to text, or calling a person when maybe now's not the right time for a phone call. Those ended like a long time.
Yeah.
Like I really did, and I mean I've blacked out more times than I'd care to admit, but I never do shit like that.
Yeah.
Although I did that like 2 months ago.
I mean, I definitely don't do that. In college, that was a big thing. I would always do that and send shit that definitely shouldn't have sent. Now it's more like somebody will send me a text message and I'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have responded with that, or like I don't really remember sending this. This went.
Yeah, or I'll just be
This
like,
went very differently than it
would
would have if I was sober. Yeah. But it's not. You don't do like dumb sliding shit or dumb texting, dumb calling anymore.
Yeah,
it's like a maturity thing.
Yeah,
good for you.
Yeah,
good for us.
Well,
we're almost men.
Yeah, not quite. Speaking of men, you know who hates me?
Everyone.
Everybody. I got fucking killed this week because I hate... I'm very passionate about the state of writing and the state of journalism, and I've said it many times on this podcast. I think that writing has gotten really, really bad, and nobody fucking knows it or acknowledges it or cares that it's getting bad, and people are learning how to...
too lazy to read.
Right. People are, like, learning how to be bad writers, and they're praising these sites. I mean, I go after the Ringer a lot. I don't go after them, but I just point out, like, this could be done differently, and this could be done better.
Yes,
so
better than theringer.com.
So I was reading something, and it wasn't on the Ringer, but it was on another, like, site that's considered, like, oh, good writing. And I was on the 9th graph, and still had not said a fucking word. Like, hadn't said anything. So I tweeted the take that I've said on here before, which is, for as much shit as people give Barstool for being like Neanderthals and everything, they're the only, like, or one of the only national sports sites where they don't have like hundreds and hundreds of extra words that don't fucking say anything.
You can get in and get out and know what the piece was about and what the message was.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with it, even if you think that it was like towed the line or something like that, at least you know what the fuck they're saying.
Right. So I was saying, like, this what has never been considered like eloquent writing, and they don't paint themselves as like we're these great writers. I mean, sometimes there's grammatical issues, sometimes there's syntax issues, whatever. I consider that superior writing, and it is to hey,
Here's
I got
me waxing poetic 4,000 words and not saying anything.
Yes, so that shit triggers me. So I tweeted that, and boy, oh boy, I got fucking murdered because people took it. What it was an anti-overwriting tweet, and it got taken as like a pro Barstool tweet. And Fights texted me about it. He was like, "Oh."
I mean, those guys are so used to that at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's such strong anti-Barstool people on Twitter, and they all kind of band together when somebody says anything positive about Barstool. And I've said it for a long time. If you have something against Barstool, you probably have something against like 2 people at Barstool.
Yeah, like
usually it's either Dave or it's KFC who like do the provoking, who have like provoking takes or toe the line.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that makes me mad is when people say that like everybody at Barstool is a fucking idiot. And
so like people were like some girl tweeted like fat shaming Rihanna is good because you don't want to read something by someone with a college degree or whatever. And that pissed me off because, like, I mean, you look at it and you're like, well, this person doesn't follow me. Like, you would know, like, when that thing happened, when the fat shaming Rihanna thing, I was like, I thought basically exactly what Dave said, which is like, this isn't funny.
Right.
Like, not only is it like vicious and like mean, like it's just dumb. Like it's not funny. So like shit like that,
you can get away with pretty much anything if you do it in a funny,
right? Like God, look at how many
creative manner.
Like, between like, I mean, Dave Chappelle, like the types of shit that he's said. He's a brilliant comedian, you know?
I mean, you're going to offend people.
Right.
But if you do it and it's funny,
yeah,
you can get away with it.
But I can't believe like that this is even a discussion that like I feel like I have to say like I'm not defending Barstool because like I don't give a fuck if you like Barstool or if you don't like them. I've always said like I never really read Barstool. I only started checking them out when I met Jared in Feidelberg.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think
that Big Cat and PFT are fucking brilliant. Like now, I've gotten into it from like I follow Chaps and like those guys are fucking funny. And I know that they have done shit that's gotten them in trouble. I know that KFC has done shit that's gotten in trouble. But I also know that when KFC tweeted something in favor of a transgender person, people shat all over him because one time he made a joke about transgender people. And that shit riles me up too, where it's like, so we're not allowing like this person to basically say like I'm growing, you know, like or like I've changed my mind, or like you know what, come to think of it this way. So it was basically grandstanding Twitter, and again, this is coming from a very very liberal like puss ass bitch boy. I I don't like that shit.
No.
Like, I don't like we've all decided that this person's bad, so we're just going to jump on him, regardless of which point he's made. And I don't know. I was really annoyed, and I deleted Twitter off my phone for the rest of the night. I was like, God, listen to my fucking podcast. Like, if you want to be pissed at me, because I objectify fucking men. That's all I do.
I know. Yeah, I mean, like, the most annoying thing is when people come after you and they, like, don't follow you. They don't know, like,
right.
They don't know who you are. They don't know the things that you stand for.
Yeah.
Like, so to make, like, a very broad generalization of somebody based on, like, a single tweet where you... I mean, I guess I understand where it came off as, like, pro-Barstool.
Yes, yeah.
But there was a bigger point being made there, and everybody glossed over it.
Right, like, I wasn't saying, like, you should always read Barstool instead of The Ringer. I'm saying, how come...
Here's a good thing that Barstool does, and they don't get credit for it.
Right, like, how come the one that's supposed to be where all the good writing is has worse writing than the place where you fucking call them Neanderthals and they're always making fun of everybody and they're always pissing everybody off? Right. So, and what made me the angriest, though, wasn't just the grandstanding and all that shit, because, again, like, I would just look at it and I was like, all right, you don't follow me, so you
don't understand.
So you didn't understand it. I was mad that nobody fucking... A few people did, but nobody was like, yeah. Nobody was like, a lot of people that were coming at me were saying, like, no, like, all this writing is fucking brilliant and it's good. And I was like, but you're incorrect. So I said, yeah, like, Feilberg texted me about it. He was like, I hadn't been around today. He was like, but just got on Twitter and, like, boy, oh boy. And I was like, what's pissing me off is just that I'm correct. Like, anyway, so that's DJ's meltdown of the week. I saw Father John Misty last night.
How was that? I was going to go with you. You offered me a ticket, and I fucking couldn't go. And you ended up in, like, the 4th row.
At the last minute, so I had 6th row tickets anyway, and at the last minute, my friend was like, hey, I've got 4 seats if you want them. And she just gave them to me, and they were the 3rd row, and it was unbelievable. So it was a great time. Hung out with Jim Murray. Just really, really great time. And he was so good. He had like a 17-piece band. It was just like this big fucking grand performance.
How was the ranting? Was there any ranting?
No, he seems to be in good spirits. I would recommend, he was on Seth Meyers the other day, and he was just totally affable and not like pissy, not difficult. He was just charming and like laughing with the audience and like making fun of himself.
Guy's impossible to figure out.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like finishing sentences, and it was it was great. So last night he asked the audience what they thought of Slightly Stupid, because he was like, for some reason people, like, I've had 2 conversations about the band Slightly Stupid today. So he asked the audience what they thought about that. He talked about some dumb random shit, and then he mentioned at some point he mentioned Twitter beefs, and instinctively I yelled, I fucking hate Ryan Adams, but I was in the 3rd row, so that was like it
was heard.
That it was totally heard, and I was like that guy. Some guy told him when he was talking to the audience, like, just shut the fuck up, and I was like, he's not even saying anything bad yet.
Wow.
Yeah. So I fucking hate Ryan Adams. Got a few laughs. Kid in front of me, I don't think understood it. I think he thought that I was heckling him, so he gave me like a...
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Hey,
man.
Asshole, that's Father John Misty up there. You don't know this, but that guy's name is Josh Tillman, actually.
So you know what that is?
What?
That's like, you just talked about Twitter followers, people on Twitter who don't follow you and don't really get it. That guy
don't you
doesn't
know?
get it.
Yeah, like, don't you know that I'm fucking smarter than you on this one? Yeah, but he was great. I was fucking grinning the whole time. And my friend got a Father John Misty shirt. I got my 3rd piece of Father John Misty merch, because he now sells a shirt of himself jerking off to Taylor Swift. It's
essentially
his face with the virtual reality mask over his face, referencing the quite eloquent lyrics, betting Taylor Swift every night inside the Oculus Rift.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Twitter beefs, Ted Cruz
Did you
on Twitter
get-
this
oh,
week stroked his beef.
Yes. Yeah.
That's gross.
Got
He faved a porn tweet. Mm-hmm. Or he blamed it on a staffing issue, which is a great way to word something that has to do with porn.
Like, what the funny thing is, there's no way. I'm trying to think. Like, nobody just anyway favorites a porn tweet.
Yeah.
So
what's-
unless someone
what are
was
you getting
trying
out
to
of
set
that?
him up, or unless he was just dumb and accidentally hit the button, those are two very, very distinct possibilities.
Yeah, for
those
sure.
are very realistic.
Like, yeah, like, what do you get out of faving a porn tweet? Because it came from, it wasn't like a porn star's
Right.
porn tweet. It was a feed.
it
was a feed. It was called, the profile was called Sexual Posts.
Was there like a video on it or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It was-
so-
he liked a video.
Oh, so he was like, so maybe he was like, you know what? I just jade my D. Thank you for your service. And one for good luck. Like, that's a.
Or maybe he was clicking, maybe he faved it to save it for later.
Oh yeah,
'Cause you can
people
do that. Mark is red. Yeah, but I just think it's like really weird to fave a porn feeds tweet.
Yeah.
It's like you're it's almost like you're flirting with them.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I like this. Wink, wink.
Maybe-
Send me more.
Yeah.
But the video was a step incest porn.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is a very hot thing on
That's
the
the
porn
good
streets
stuff.
these
Yeah.
days. It's really uncomfortable that's the direction we're heading in as a porn
As a porn society.
As a porn society. Very problematic in my eyes. Also problematic, the porn actress, the porn artist in this video looks exactly like Ted Cruz's wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a weird move, right?
Yes.
I think that porn should be kept separate from, like, it's not
Keep the porn out of the bedroom.
weird way to put it.
Yeah.
I just think it's a weird kind of serial killer move to watch porn that looks exactly like the person that you're supposed to be having sex with.
Right. That's
who he's probably not having sex with anymore.
yeah.
We have to do.
Oh, we gotta do songs.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Do you have your songs?
I have some songs.
I do as well.
Are they related to this weekend? Because some of mine are.
Mine are not. They're related to this week,
Oh yeah,
to my life. Yeah.
Father John Misty,
No.
Nas?
Nas is on there. So
DMX.
no, but so I saw Nas and Lauryn Hill. I learned this. I did not. So I've seen Lauryn Hill before, and she plays all her songs way too fast, and it sounds crazy, and it's not great. And the person next to me told me that she doesn't own the rights to any songs on Miseducation of Lauryn Hill anymore, so she's only allowed, unless she pays for them, she's only allowed to perform those songs in remix form.
Really?
Yeah, so that kind of stinks. But Nas was fucking incredible, and he brought DMX out. It was the coolest thing that's ever happened at a Boston show.
Yeah, that's very random.
Right.
You do not expect to see like a heavy-hitting guest star in Boston.
Right, like you get that in New York or you get that in
Right.
LA or like maybe Chicago.
When it's convenient.
Yes, right, like when it works for them.
Right.
So DMX apparently is in a sober house in New Hampshire.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
believe. Yeah, so I didn't know that either. So he's close by, and it was fucking great. I was in disbelief when he came out. He did Rough Riders Anthem. He did X Gon' Give It To Ya. It was a wild time. But
DMX living in New Hampshire is a weird
it's like
thing
Walter
to
White
imagine.
living in New Hampshire.
Right, but Walter White's like a normal guy. Or
DMX is a lot more normal than Walter White.
well, Walter White was never like a star. He didn't live a life of fame and luxury like DMX did.
okay, yeah.
So, living in New Hampshire, not the most glamorous
Oh,
lifestyle.
so you're saying, yeah, like lifestyle-wise,
I mean,
yeah.
Walter White always lived in Albuquerque, New
Yeah.
Mexico.
He wasn't from Means. So, yeah, Nas was fucking great because he did two sets. The first one, he didn't do much from Illmatic, which was really cool because he could seriously not do, and I said this before the concert, he could do not a single song from Illmatic, and I would probably still love the set because he's got so much good shit that he's done. I have a soft spot for his album Hip Hop Is Dead, which I think came out in like 2006. It was like after his prime, after his like big run, but it's one of 2 CDs that I have in my car, and when I feel like listening to a CD in the car, I just always listen to that. I love the album. I don't think that it's been remembered as well as it should be. And he opened with Black Republican from that album, so I was really excited. So, to pay homage to that album, I'm going to put on the title track featuring will.i.am, Hip Hop Is Dead. And for my other 2, I finally started listening to the Walking the Floor podcast, which is Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters podcast. And he has a country album that's fucking awesome. Came out last year. Love it. And he had Chris Stapleton on this week. And it's just really interesting. Like, especially like guitar players, he just has people on and they just fucking shoot the shit about music, and it's really, really good. It's an easy listen. So I'm going to put a song from Chris Shiflett on there, Sticks and Stones, great song. And from Chris Stapleton, I'm going to put on Up to No Good Livin' on his most recent album. I love it. I love the fucking chorus. Love everything about it.
You said last week that you want your country star to look like that late Gentry guy.
Yeah, like a little kind of pudge to you. Yeah.
I want my country star to look like Chris Stapleton.
Well, that's that's pie in the sky. Like, you're not going to get all. Yeah. If every country star looked like they play outlaw country, then. Actually, it'd be fucking funny. Like, what if Luke Bryan looked like fucking Chris Stapleton?
Oh, yeah. Fucking goofy-ass Luke Bryan.
Yeah, I think that... Yeah, I think that most country stars look the way they're supposed to look. Like, Luke Bryan looks
definitely
the way that he's
Luke
supposed
Bryan,
to.
yes.
Which is funny because I think that, like, girls probably love Luke Bryan, right?
Girls
like,
go crazy for Luke Bryan.
We're just, it's like, he looks and sounds like a fucking doof.
He looks like a puppy that got hit by a car.
Yeah, he's so fucking dumb. Oh, God. Bryan, give me a fucking break.
So I'm going to add, this week we're seeing Haim. Got to add some Haim.
Yeah.
Since we've added the full Haim.
I was going to say, you can't add anything from Something to Tell You.
I cannot. But you know what I can add?
What?
Pray to God.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you add that because that...
Pray to God fucking rules.
Yeah. And for some reason, I see you, Handlebar Girls. They've been playing Pray to God in class of late. Like,
really?
The last 2 weeks, I've heard it twice.
Whew.
Yeah.
That will make you go.
Yeah.
I'm also going to add, you know what I watched this week?
Narcos.
No, I think I finished that last week.
I watched a little bit of Narcos. I'm on season 1.
Oh, yeah? How you liking it?
Good, but it's got that Mad Men unbingeable quality because you can't just doze off while you're watching it, and you can't watch it for 8 hours because you got to fucking look at the TV the whole time you're watching the TV because the subtitles.
Yeah,
I don't like a TV show that makes me watch it.
That's a tough part of Narcos. You can't be on your phone or anything because there's so much reading. I often say that Narcos is the only book I read every year. It's worth it, especially for season 3. So stick with it. Season 3 is fucking amazing.
Nice.
How do you feel about Mike Murphy?
I like him.
Well, I hated him.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like him at all.
I guess I don't have any thoughts on any of the characters because I know they could all go at any point, except obviously thus far.
Pablo Escobar.
But you know who I love is what's his name? Luis Guzman.
Yeah.
He's
he's in that. Yeah, he's in that.
He is one of the fucking fine actors of our time.
He really is great. He's great in everything that he's in.
Yes,
and he's in a shitload of stuff.
Yeah, I think that I could be wrong. You know that he's just like a guy from Vermont?
Really?
I think so.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
But I watched Drive this week. I rewatched Drive. So I'd seen Drive a couple years ago, and people go fucking goo goo gaga over Drive.
They do. I don't think I've seen that.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah, and I'm a Gosling guy.
Interesting. So I would like to see your reaction after first viewing, because after I watched it the first time, I was very much not into it. I thought it was okay. I was like, why are people going fucking nuts over this movie? It's weird. It's tough because Gosling doesn't play the character that you want or expect from Gosling. He's very quiet. He's like brooding. He does a lot of pensive staring, and there's not a ton of dialogue throughout the movie.
Well, if anyone can just give you facial expressions all day, it's Ryan Gosling.
So I came to appreciate his character on the second viewing, and I will say, Drive, very good movie. I'm
Nice.
sold. I just needed to watch it a second time. It took me a couple of years, but it also has a really, really great soundtrack.
Ooh.
And one of the staples and pillars of that soundtrack is A Real Hero, featuring Electric Youth by College.
Cool.
I've never heard of College. Apparently, they just usually just do synthy instrumental songs.
Okay.
So Electric Youth does the vocals on this song, and it's really good.
Nice.
So I'm adding that. And then finally, I'm very excited to see Fiddler this weekend,
Oh, yes.
and I'm going to add Bad Habits by Fiddler.
Yes. I'm very excited to see. They're such the fucking cherry on top for this weekend. Okay, yeah, well, let us go to Chicago and fucking see Hyman all that shit. Their set lists, by the way, have been getting progressively dope. They showed... So again, like, I'm afraid of what to tweet about it, but they tweeted today they're playing Walking Away now, which they weren't playing in recent shows, and that's my favorite.
And they did a
fucking song on the album.
gigantic dance break.
It's all like they're treating that song the fucking way it should be treated. I saw 3 girls up there, no instruments, no guitars, just fucking like 90s, like basically Destiny's Childing it, and I was like, that's how that fucking song should be done. Bravo. Fucking love them.
So we're getting on a flight at 5:30 a.m. to
Don't
get to
fucking
Chicago.
give out our flight information.
By the time
What
this
are you,
gets released or listened to, we'll be already gone.
That's true.
So we're going to get on a flight at 5:30 a.m., which is the earliest flight that I've ever taken in my life.
I think that it's the earliest flight that's been offered before. And I've taken early flights before, but I don't think I've ever done 5:30.
5:30 is fucking early. But when we get on a plane, we should always say goodbye.
Oh, yes.
So this might be our last episode.
Ooh.
Just, preparing for the worst, hope for the best.
That would sit. No, this is icky. We're not doing that. You can't fucking do that. I did a podcast one time with Kirk Minahan back in the day, and I was about to. I was stopping by to do his podcast. How fucking times have changed, man.
Yeah.
This was like he was like fucking just one of us, and I was doing his podcast, and I had to take I was stopping there to do it, and then I was getting on a flight, and he said on there, like, in all seriousness, he was like, I hope your plane crashes.
It's so terrible.
He's always, like, had that about him, like even in a friendly way, just, like, very matter of fact, like, it wouldn't change my life much if you died today. So, just,
I think every time I get on a plane, I'm going to tweet before it takes off, what goes up must come down.
That's so fucked.
It's fucked, but if the plane goes down, if I keep tweeting it and then eventually I get in a plane crash,
Yeah.
somebody's going to go back and look at my Twitter
It's going to
feed.
be a zombified...
And people will be like, holy shit, that's eerie as fuck.
Yeah.
And I'll get a ton of attention.
Yeah, when
after
in reality, if they search
in the
that, they'll
afterlife.
see that you've tweeted it
Like a
300
billion times, but it's still fucking funny.
Yeah. You know what I should tweet? Did you ever see the Tenacious D movie?
I did not.
It's great. I would assume, not to cast any judgments, that you're not a Tenacious D guy.
No.
God, they're fucking great. So, in the Tenacious D movie, he eats some mushrooms and hallucinates that he meets Sasquatch and that Sasquatch is his dad, and Sasquatch can also fly, and Sasquatch is this big fucking idiot. He's like. He talks like I don't
Talks like
even-
Luke Bryan.
He says he's like, let's go for a dip in the Strawberry River. And like he's like this huge idiot, but he's like, time to fly, and they fly, and I sounded like fucking Gru from Despicable Me.
I liked it.
Yeah, but yeah, they're flying, and it keeps cutting back to like what's actually happening, and so he thinks that he's like floating down a river, like down the Strawberry River, and it like cuts to him, and he's in like the fucking ocean, getting knocked down by waves in like the middle of the night. But yeah, like they're flying, and Sasquatch says like, "We're flying." So I think I'm gonna do that every time I fly.
That's a good plan. Let's sit separately on the plane.
Yes.
Yeah, so, again, we got big things coming up. It's a big time to be a fan of this podcast. Big time to be a part of this podcast.
Big bucks.
So if you like our show, download the CLNS app on the App Store.
Yes.
We'll be there. Listen to us there. There's plenty of other great podcasts as well. So we're going to give them a shout out. Also, DraftKings. Sign up for DraftKings. Use promo code
Seriously,
BRUNCH.
Use the promo code BRUNCH. We'll know
Win
if you did.
$100,000 and give it to us.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.